Hello guys, welcome once again. In the last video I have shown you how to create these forms in Access database with these interactive buttons and this charts. Now in this video I'm going to show you how you can use queries with Access database. So what are queries? Queries, you can say, is just a fancy name for searches, but queries become very important when you try to connect your Access database with some language or with some program you are making, for example in C Sharp or Visual Basic or Java. So when you connect your database with a language, you need to pass queries from that language to your Access database so that your Access database can return on the basis of queries, so return the result on the basis of queries. So on that uh, on that point, queries becomes very important. Now let's see how we can create queries in Access. So I will close this and I will open my table view first. So this is my table, and I have added one more field called pay in this table view. So what I have done is I will go to the design view. I have added this pay column, and this is a number, and I formatted it with currency euro, so it will always show euro in front. Okay, I will say yes. So now let's start creating queries. What you need to do in order to create queries is go to this create tab and search for query wizard. Okay, so just click this query wizard and you will be presented with query wizard. For now we are using simple queries. Just click OK, and now you can choose tables in which you want to deal with queries. I have only one table, so I will select it and I will select all this data here, and I will click next, and I'll leave it as default. Click next, and you can change the name of this query from here. Right now I will leave it as default, and I will say I will modify the query design, and I will click finish. So this is the design view in which you can pass the queries. Okay, so you have employee ID, name, last name, and whatever columns your table have, you can see them here, and you can see all the columns here also. Now, as I told you, query is like a search on some criteria, right? So for example, you want to search all the names from your employee data table which starts from M. Okay, so what you can do is you can go to employee ID column and go to this row called criteria. So just select in front of the row called criteria, and you can give criteria on the basis of which you want to filter your data or you want to search your data. So we want to search the name on the basis of, for example, which start with the letter M. So I will go to the column name, first name, and I will write M and this star symbol or asterisk symbol, whatever you want to say it. So just write M star. So this means we are searching for the name which starts from M, and asterisk is like a wild card, so that it doesn't bother what's after M. You just bother the name which starts from M, and whatever uh, comes later after the first letter, we don't bother about it. Whatever is the name, we don't bother about it. So it's just like a wild card. Now when you hit your tab button here, it will automatically modifies your query like this. Like, it will add like before your query. And how you can execute this query, you are in design view, and you can see here a button called run button. So when you click this button, your query will be executed. I'll run this, and now you can see I can see only the name which starts from the letter M, right? And now in order to save this query, what you can do is you can go to this little window button here, and you can say save as, and just click save object as, and you can just give the name to your query. So I can say employee dot name which starts from M. Okay, and click OK, and it will be saved here as your name, right? So once again we go to the design view here, and now for example you want to once again make a query, for example for the pay. So we want to check whichever employee is having the pay greater than 30 euros per hour. We want to list out those employees. So I go to the pay column here, and in the criteria row, what criteria I will give? I will give greater than or equal to 30, and click tab button, and then I will perform this query once again. So just click this run button here, and you can see the employees with pay greater than 30 euro per hour. Okay, so once again I will go to the design view, and so there is a perfect time to show this design view and this view section. There are different kind of views here. So we are in right now design view, and we are toggling around design view and data sheet view, this view and design view. But there are other views also, pivot chart view, pivot table view. But the important view here also is when you create a query, there is a SQL view. So when you click this SQL view, you can see this query here, and this query is important when you want your database to communicate with other languages, right? So when you want to communicate with other language, this query or this line you need to transfer it, or you need to pass to your Access database in order to fetch this same data. So if you want that you want the list of employees who have the pay greater than 30 euros per hour, you need to pass this query to your C sharp database, or C sharp, not C sharp database, but the C sharp language, or Java language, or any other language. So this query is important from that prospect. So don't ignore this query. This is really important when you are dealing with some languages, like, oh, right? So you can create your query in design view, and whenever you want to pass this query to other language, just go to the SQL view, copy this query, and pass it to the language you are working with, right? Okay, so once again to the design view, and what I can do is I can once again create a new column using these queries which is not there in your table. So for example, I want to calculate the bonus pay for each employee, and the formula will be simple. I will take the pay of the employee and I will multiply it by 50, for example, and that will be the bonus of the employee. So what I can do is I can go to this blank column here, and I can give the name of the column here for the bonus. But the better option will be, I can right click here and I can say build query, and here I can say I want to calculate the bonus for the employee. So first of all, we will give a title to this column, as we have these titles: pay, phone, country. So we will give the title. So for giving the title, you just need to give the name, for example, bonus, and just give a colon here. So colon tells this access that this is our column name, and after that whatever you will write here is the expression you want to execute. So for example, we want to execute, we want the bonus which is calculated by the pay. So I want to have this pay here, and I will do it like this. So whenever you want to call some column in your expression, you call it with these square brackets. So in this square bracket, just pass the pay column. So just write pay as it is. Whatever is the name of your column, just write exactly the same here. And you can say I want to multiply it by 50, and this is my bonus column, and I will just enclose it in these parentheses. And now when I click OK, if you don't see this, I can paste it in here so you can see it better. It's bonus colon, and in the parenthesis the pay column name in the square bracket multiplied by 50. Okay, and I will click OK, and you can see here it has created a new column called bonus with this formula. And when I execute this query once again, execute it, you can see a new column here, and which is a bonus column, and whose result contains the pay multiplied by 50. So 56 multiplied by 50 is 2800, and 54 multiplied by 50 is 2700, like these. So you can add this bonus here like this. Now in order to show this euro icon here, or euro symbol here, we are not seeing euro symbol here. So in order to add this euro symbol before all these calculated value, I will go to the design view once again, go to the column, right click it, go to the properties, and I will say format. I will select format here, click this button, make it a little bit bigger so you can see, and I can format on the basis of currency, or I will just click euro here. Okay, and when I go to my run view again, you can see here euro is added, and my bonus is formatted in euros like this. Okay, now once again to the design view. So you can not only search data using queries, but you can update your data, you can delete your data, you can do anything with your data using queries. And for knowing more about these queries, there are some ribbon icons here. For example, you want to update the data, just select this button, and it will then it will then create a query to update your data. So now this design field is changed, and you can see here update to, and on the basis of criteria you can update your data. Okay, and you can delete your data also. Just select this delete button here, and you can just give the criteria on the basis of which you want to delete your data. For example, I want to delete the data on the basis of name, for example, or where the name is equal to whatever, right? So I will say I want to delete the data. I will go to this view, and I want to delete the data where name is equal to this. So I will copy this name. I will go to the design view once again, which is this view, and this is my delete. I'm in this delete design view, right? So I will click this delete design view, and I will click the criteria where name is equal to this. And when I hit this run button, it will ask you. It doesn't find this name, because in this query I have this condition I have created earlier. So I will delete this query from here. Once again, I will run my query from here, and it says you are about to delete one row from the specified table. And when you click yes here, it will delete. Right now I don't want to delete any data, but when you click yes here, it will delete this row from your database forever. So you cannot, whatever you delete, you cannot revert it back. It's deleted from the database, right? And because this employee ID is a primary key, you cannot generate a key 13 if it's deleted again, because it's a unique key, and primary key is a unique key and it can be generated only once. So if you delete this data, you cannot generate the employee data with the employee ID 13. Okay, so in this way these query works. You can play with this query in the design view. You can see there are different buttons here. The main buttons are select, update, and delete buttons. And don't forget, just take a look at these select view also, SQL view also. And when you see this SQL view, you can find this query which you can pass to the other language. The query is independent of the language. The query is the same for the Java if you're passing it to Java, or if you are passing it to the C sharp. It's the same query you need to pass to the other languages. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now.